Definitely looks like a three-pointer from Tony Finn, that is for sure. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Thursday. It is December 19th. It's another edition of the NBA Tip-Off Show. It is powered by WagerTalk.com. We don't quite have the Brady Bunch here tonight, but what we do have are some of the best handicappers that you will find, starting with the man to my left. You're right. Either way, you can't miss him. He's next to me. The man's got Profit in his name, Mr. Hakeem Profit, at Ski Profit on Twitter. Rob Veno joining us here today, also sportsmemo.com, as well as Grandpa. There he is, Tony Finn. Spent 3.5 years in Topeka, Kansas, I just learned. So there's always that. How you doing, Tony? Everything all right, man?
Yeah, I don't remember what gang I was in while I was in Topeka. I don't know. I can't remember what I wore, red or blue.
Yeah. You had a handkerchief. That you did.
It was more than 5 minutes ago, so don't ask me.
Yeah,
because I don't remember.
Idea, but these are the things we learn on this show here, and we've got an abbreviated card here tonight, guys. 4 games. 4 pretty important games. Well, 2 pretty important games. The other 2 are just we're jockeying for position for ping pong balls, it sounds like. But still, opportunities to be able to profit. And, of course, before we take a dive into some of the action from last night, want to take a look, of course, at WagerTalk.com as well as SportsMemo.com. And, Ski, your plays are up there on a nightly basis. Let us not forget, Ski's going to go up there. He's going to get you all covered for the NBA all season long at WagerTalk.com. All you guys have to do, of course, is get there. WagerTalk.com. Go under the handicappers page. You'll find Ski. You'll also find Tony Finn. And, Tony, if I'm not mistaken, my man, you got a little bit of everything up there. It's like a potpourri with you, man. You got a little, you got a little NFL, you got a little college, you got a little, what else you got going on tonight over there?
I do. I already have my NFL card positioned on the website. At least that could change. I guess I could add a 4th play, but right now I have 3 plays. I feel like that's where I want to be, and that's what I really like. I have 4 or 5 college bowl games already up. I like 20 bowl games of the 40. I like 20. That's my short list. That's being worked on, and as you guys all know, in bowl games, there are some things that pop up all of a sudden. The player decides they're going to enlist into the National Football League, and they decide not to play, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Plus, I have an NBA college basketball package combined tonight.
Awesome. So, all right, it's loaded there. And then, of course, Rob Veno over at sportsmemo.com. Guys, you guys head over there. I know, Rob, you've been killing it there, of course, in college football this season. I know you got a college football bowl package, but always they'll be able to find your NBA plays up as well.
So it'll be up and available. We will get it up there right now. The college bowl game package is up. There's an isolated bowl game that I placed up there the day after the matchups were released. So it's been up there a while now. One that I liked right off the bat. So absolutely, they're going to come fast and furious beginning with tonight because I'm going to start loading up the bowl plays. I, like Tony, have a multitude of these matchups that I like. I think this bowl card set up nice for us, but we're here to talk NBA, and I will have NBA up a little after the show concludes.
Great. Ski and I will smoke a bowl, and we'll get this going. Am I right, Ski? Are we ready here, brother, or what? Let's do this, damn it.
Let's do it, brother.
Oh, your damn mute button again. No, I'm only kidding. I can hear you, brother. All right, so here we go, gentlemen. Let's take a look here at what happened a little bit last night before we dive into these 4 games. And the show yesterday was interesting. We talked about a lot of these. The dogs were barking there last night. We talked a little bit there, Ski, about Detroit and Toronto, and we weren't quite sure at the time. Was Drummond playing? Was Griffin playing? I'm pretty sure they both played, and it really didn't make a damn bit of difference because Toronto, even without VanVleet, managed to take care of business there rather easily. Toronto again going, don't forget about us, guys.
Yeah, most definitely. That's a game that surprised me out of all of them. Detroit, I mean, first of all, Toronto without VanVleet, I just didn't expect much, and so they showed me up. They shut me up for sure.
Mm-hmm. Opened up as 3.5. I mean, closing line was at 2 there, Tony. So the money was coming in once they announced Drummond and Grant. That was it, man. Blake's playing, Drummond's playing. It really didn't make a damn bit of difference at home for Detroit.
And Dwayne Casey, is he allergic to the Raptors. He seems to. Every time I read something, every time these two face, I'm not even going to talk about it. Every time these two face, they always mention the Casey factor. How Casey would love to beat his old team, right? Let's give that crap up because he's struggling to beat his team.
Big time over there. And Rob, how about the Cleveland Cavaliers? We were so close to getting a cover there for Cleveland. They were laying 3. It was 2.5. It was 3. It was bouncing back and forth. Charlotte on a back-to-back there, and then wouldn't you know it, a fast and furious final couple of minutes there, and somehow Charlotte managed to cover by 2 points there, Rob.
Yeah, trailing by 6, was it, I think, with a few seconds left. They make a free throw. They miss the second free throw. They get the rebound. Good old Terry Rozier drains a 3, and all of a sudden you got a 2-point game and a cover for the Charlotte Hornets. So that looked like Cleveland's game the majority of the way. The last few seconds kind of messed it up for Cleveland backers, but give Charlotte a little bit of credit. I mean, as you mentioned, Joe, back-to-back situation without P.J. Washington 2 nights in a row. That's back-to-back covers for them because they got Sacramento a couple nights before. So, I think it's a tough one to swallow if you had Cleveland, but certainly Charlotte showed a little bit of fortitude in that game.
Yeah, and Charlotte also, I believe, Ski was, we had talked about it yesterday, definitely thought Charlotte would have a chance to win that game outright or at least cover. And also, Ski, you talked New Orleans Pelicans. I'm pretty sure Tony, you, Brian, I think everyone was like, are the Pelicans 7 points worse than Minnesota? But we got the no Karl Anthony Towns last night, and that proved to be actually pretty damn important when it was all said and done.
Yeah, most definitely. We mentioned that the sprained knee for Anthony Towns and the 7-point spread. It looked like it should have been the other way. I mean, Pelicans had control of the game pretty much the entire game, and they win by 8. Ingram had a really bad game the game before, and he came out and had a great game last night. So it was what I expected. I loved it. Both dogs cash.
Tony Finn, 76ers, brother. Man, oh, man. Opened up at 6.5. The money kept rolling in, as did the total kept inching down there, closed at around 208. Were you surprised that the Miami Heat were able to pull it out there?
Well, the question I have, again, I try not to put too much weight on one game, but we talked, the four of us talked before the show about the struggles that Philly had shooting the basketball, shooting from the perimeter. And I mentioned that that's what happens when you lose a young, spry J.J. Redick, and his shooting prowess.
Yep.
Listen, they're going to struggle. When your point guard hits his first 3-point bucket ever in his NBA career, and it's not just of the season or the week or the month, ever, then how do you, then that's going to put your down on the list a little bit as far as quality perimeter shooting teams. We know Philadelphia wants to be physical. They want to play defense. They want to get the ball inside. And I have complete confidence that they'll figure out how to beat a 2-3 zone at some point in time.
Yeah, and kudos to Spoelstra and company for, after the first, getting their ass handed to them, switches to a 2-3 in the second, and Philadelphia had no answer. Like, they had never seen it, didn't know what to do, couldn't make a jump shot. It was actually comical, but kudos to Miami, who is now beaten, I believe, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Dallas at home. Those teams are 1-3 against Miami. I think they've lost one total game against the rest of the league. It's just absolutely crazy. Miami somehow or another figures out a way to do it on the road against the better competition. And Rob, I don't know. This was a game too that maybe, and I don't know. You guys correct me here, but is the key to Oklahoma City having to win games? They have to be down by 25 points. Rob, is that how it works? Is that what we're doing now?
I think the key is they all have to get that suit that Chris Paul fitted them all with last night. Oh, my goodness. Steven Adams complained after the game that suit was the reason why he didn't play too well. But looking at some of those guys walking in, it was pretty interesting. Hey, listen, that's a couple of good comebacks by Billy Donovan's crew. They were dead in the water last night, came all the way back. I happened to win that game. I had over 219. Game went flying over 219, hits 248. Boy, the Memphis Grizzlies, though, guys, they show you what the future could be here. I mean, Brandon Clark had a nice game. We know Ja Morant is a nice player. They've got youth all over the floor. And once they when they figure out how to put it all together consistently on a nightly basis, they're going to be tough to handle. They have no fear of using 94 feet of up-tempo against anybody, and they showed Oklahoma City last night, a team that's not really, comprised to play that style of game, that they can force you on your home floor to play their style. So in Memphis, when we're looking at them from a betting standpoint, you have to have the asterisk next to them where totals are concerned at this point in time. They are going to become an over team rather quickly because that's going to be their style. But nice comeback by the Oklahoma City Thunder, and Chris Paul maybe hold back on the suits next time. I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's apparently 20. Just get them down by 20, guys. They are a machine after that. They really are fantastic. Give me a brand break. Ski, Boston, big question marks. No Smart, no Hayward. We didn't know what the hell we were going to get there. Kemba Walker by himself. We got Porzingis on the road. And, yeah, pretty rather convincing win there on the road for Boston last night.
Right. I guess all we need, we should have known Tatum, Brown, Kemba Walker quite enough without no Luka, right?
Yep.
That's just what I saw. And just to touch on something Rob said about Memphis, I think I heard John Morant say in the interview that they were, all season long, there'll be a team that will start the game strong and be kind of winning or covering the first halves and kind of give it away in the second half. And then lately, they were doing pretty good finishing out the games. And he said that it was a team that's putting it together. And just like Rob said, once they put it together on a consistent basis, it's going to be a really good team.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Tony, Boston pretty impressive on the road, coming off a 2-game losing streak there. It seemed like they hadn't played in a month and a half, shorthanded. Pretty darn impressive, man. If
you let Boston push you around in a game, and you let that, even Boston, but if you watched any of that game yesterday and you looked at the box score, you saw 60 free throws in this game. And personally, me moving forward, any and every time I see Boston in a game that's that I think is going to be an equal, a battle, a good game. If it's going to be a physical game, I'm going to be looking at who the officials are, because both teams were fortunate. Boston 27 for 30 from the line, guys. 27 for 30. Why? Because no Marcus Smart. Because Marcus Smart can't make a free throw. Now, that said, Dallas didn't shoot very well, shot under 40%. They didn't move the ball very well. Boston controlled that tempo. They did everything that they wanted to do despite being shorthanded. So as the illustrious panel just mentioned, we should have known.
Yes, we absolutely should have known. But that's okay. Hindsight's 20/20. We make a few notes. We take our number 2 pencils, we sharpen them, and we move on to tonight here, guys. 4-game slate. And we'll start with a team that's not exactly been all that great on the road this year, the Utah Jazz, taking on a team that's, just not good. The Atlanta Hawks here, and it continues to creep up. As far as the number goes, 6.5 points is what I'm looking at now. The Hawks, let me see, 226 I'm seeing as a total, up from 224, and Ski will go around the horn. We'll start with you, man. Utah just not good on the road. Atlanta not good at all, though. So where do you go in a game like this?
Yeah, like you said, Atlanta not good at all. And we only have, 2 more games to fade Atlanta until John Collins comes back, and they'll begin to become a little bit better. So, it'll be Utah or pass for me. I know they haven't looked good, but just looking at last 5 game stats, they still are better all the way down the board. Offense, defense, rebounding advantage, major rebounding advantage, matter of fact. So minus the 6.5 for Utah, it will be Utah or pass. And as far as the total, Atlanta's not playing any defense. Atlanta wants to go fast. Utah doesn't have a problem playing fast. Utah's offense has been pretty good, and their defense has been lacking, in my opinion. So I know Atlanta has allowed 130 or more in 5 of their last 9 games. It's went over 5 of the last 6 games for the Jazz. I like Jazz and over.
All right, what's going on there, Finn? Are you swatting flies, or what's going on? There was a lot of swatting going on there. What's happening here?
Okay, real quick, raise your hand if you think that the Knicks have improved to be a 140-point team per game, or that Atlanta just stinks. Which both.
Give me
both hands.
Yeah. It's a loaded question, Finn. Good.
Of course
pick
it
a
is.
side, will you? Damn it! Which one are you on? You can't be raising
Utah. Utah. You mentioned the other day, I've been very lucky, fortunate, whatever you want to call it, fortuitous with Utah. But this is a role they've been good at. I think they're 8-3 as road favorites against lesser opponents, 400 winning percentage or less. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe I was looking last night because I thought you guys would bring up the fact that you couldn't believe Utah covered their last game. When I said they would cover their last game. And Ski said I like nothing about Utah. Well, all of a sudden he likes something about Utah. The Hawks are 2-7 against the spread in their games against Western Conference. So you're right, Ski. This is really a less than hosting a much better team at almost every position, maybe except for point guard. And even then, I'm not a huge Trae Young fan, and I wouldn't call him the best player on the floor tonight. I like Mitchell. If I'm going to start a franchise today, I'd still select Mitchell over Trae Young. Head and shoulders. Easy choice.
I'm going to guess you're going with Utah then. Is that really what we got at the end of that? What do you think, Ski? I think he likes Utah. Was that basically it? Do you like
I'm
Utah
pretty
now,
sure.
Ski? What do you think?
Oh, yeah, Utah, I mean, and they're pretty good. It's more so a fade of Atlanta, but I'll back Utah here.
Yeah, all right, we'll go with Utah. Rob Veno,
And
where you going, man? Break the tie here, damn it. Come on, somebody go Atlanta.
Yeah, it's hard, Joe, because my inclination with Atlanta games is always toward the total. When I was last on a couple of days ago, that total against the Knicks got pushed from 220 to 225, and 225 might as well have been 255 because that game was going over by the end of the third quarter. Atlanta in their last 9 games has allowed the opponent to shoot 50% or better. That's not good. And when you're facing a new Utah Jazz team that, for the most part, finds good shots, with them it's more a question of making those good shots so far this season. If they make them tonight, they probably get the cover. I think we need to note that Mike Conley Jr. is now listed as out indefinitely, and I know we had this conversation the other day about him and whether or not his presence in the lineup, because he just hasn't integrated the way that we felt, or I won't use us all collectively here because I don't know how you three guys felt, but I would say that the majority of NBA people felt that Mike Conley Jr. was just a missing piece for this team. We can get Donovan Mitchell off the ball now. He can be more of a scorer than have to carry such a load. But you guys talked about Utah's been pretty good lately, and the majority of it has been without Mike Conley Jr. Left the game, re-aggravated his injury the other night, and now he's done for a while. So will it be a better Utah Jazz team as they get back into the mode that they've been in the past couple of years with Mitchell being their key guy on offense? You can slide Joe Ingles in between small forward and shooting guard. I know Royce O'Neal got a bunch of minutes the other night. So they know how to, play without Mike Conley Jr. I wonder if Utah doesn't take off at this point. This is the first of 3 and 4 nights on this little southeastern trip that they're going to play. We'll see if they're ready for it. I just want to point out a couple of what I found to be extreme first half numbers in this game, guys. Utah, away from home, is 4-10 under the total in the first half. Now, that 4-10 includes a 3-0 over in their last 3 games. So they were 10-1 under on the road in the first half until their last 3 games when they've all pushed over. Still a pretty significant number. And for the Atlanta Hawks, as much as we'd like to talk about their offense, they are 6-0 under the total at home. Their last 6 games only averaging 106.1 points a game. The total here in the first half is 110. If the first half total in Atlanta Hawks home games has been 111 or less, which it is tonight, they're 5-0 under. So there's some pretty strong first half under trends that maybe we just need to ride for this contest.
All right, Tony Finn, the guy who is apparently a shill for Utah. What do you think, Finn? You okay? You all right with that? You got a lot of people back in Utah on this panel here now. Is that all right?
A very good point by Mr. V, and that was those 3 games also were the Timberwolves, who play very little defense, and that kind of didn't help there a little bit, and as well the Warriors, and the over in their last game was against a Magic team that does play defense, but it was Magic really that pushed that one over, and then of course they seriously stumbled in the second half at altitude, much like they did again last night in Denver, although Denver decided, we're going to give you a 20-point handicap to start the damn game. So, there we are.
Yeah.
So that said, yes, I listen.
You're a Utah
when
guy.
it comes,
when are
when
you
it
going to
comes,
wear the Utah shirt on the show
Well-
is what I want to know here, because the amount of sucking up you are doing to Utah here the last week or so. Ski, I'm not going to lie, man. It's been a little nauseating here, but maybe we should just get him a Mike Conley jersey. What do you think?
Me.
What do you think? Should we do it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big Utah fan, but we definitely know Tony Finn is.
Yeah.
Really quick about what Rob said, though.
Go.
About the under. I know Atlanta just tends to play better defense at home. So that could be one thing here today. Maybe expect him to play better defense today.
Yeah, Trae Young, I don't know for what it's worth, guys, has showed up on the injury list with a calf, but he is listed as probable. So there is always that. 224.5 as it continues to creep up. I'm seeing 225s in this game as we move along to game number 2. Let's talk about it. How about them Nets, the Brooklyn Nets taking on the San Antonio Spurs? Now, for those of you that are joining us for the first time, there are a few don'ts on this panel. And the man to my left here or right, I can't even figure it out. But the man with the name Profit in his name, he's got 2 don'ts on this show. Number 1, don't you dare bring up Cleveland as far as a possible backing in a bet. And number 2, when it comes to San Antonio, 2 words. Hell no, he is not backing San Antonio, and they're laying 3 here, and 3.5 in some places, brother. Brooklyn, what do you think, man? What are we doing here?
We've probably been working together enough now. You just know me well, Joe. But I'm not rolling.
No.
I'm not rolling with San Antonio. You know it. 1-9 is a home favorite. Between this spread range of -4 to -1 for Spurs, they're 1-5-1, and on the other side, between +1 and +4, Nets are 5-1. It's just, it's not much to like for the Spurs, and the Nets have been playing well. You want to ride the Nets before Kyrie comes back. They're 7-2 against the spread their last 9, 8-5 versus 45% win teams are greater. I like the Nets, but I think I might even like them more on the first half. They're the best first half bet in the league. I mentioned that the other day, and the Spurs are, I think, 3rd worst. So it's a fade for the Spurs on the first half. They start the game slow, play on to Brooklyn early, and looking at last 5 game stats, offense has been better, defense has been better, rebounding advantage for Brooklyn. Give me the Nets.
I got to ask you here, Tony Finn. I've had a few people bring this up to me about this Brooklyn team. Number 1, it's that I think Reagan was president last time that they actually won in San Antonio. This has been a series that has been extremely one-sided, but Tony Parker and Ginobili aren't walking through that damn door right now. So I don't know. Is it we're about to embark on a new decade here, Finn? Is it time to out with the old, in with the new? This is a different Brooklyn Nets team.
And in this business, you guys know it's really good to have a short memory. It allows you to see better, see the future better. However, 72 and 22 all time. I think 42 of the last 46, and I think 16 in a row. That it's hard to ignore those things.
Yeah.
But this isn't the same team, and the fact is that Ski is right. I have a trouble right now. Early in the season, I thought, when are they going to make adjustments for one of the bookmakers going to make adjustments for San Antonio? They're still a public team to some degree, but most of us who have watched the first 30 games or so of the season have seen who San Antonio is, and they're a difficult back at home. They're a difficult back laying points, period.
No Kyrie here, Rob. LeVert, I believe, on the shelf for at least another month. Dinwiddie has been fantastic, but the Nets are just 7-7 on the road, and the best team that they've beaten on the road is Portland. So I don't know. Is it that they can beat the crap teams on the road? What do you think about this game?
Well, real quick, let's just throw the numbers out that defend what Ski was talking about where first half is concerned. The Nets 17-5 against the spread first half. San Antonio 3-10 at home against the spread first half this season. So, that's just 2 extreme numbers. That would lead you to play Brooklyn first half blindly, mechanically, no matter what. You wouldn't ask questions. You just run and play Brooklyn first half. Where I find conflicting stuff, guys, in this game is, I looked at that total, and 219 opener to me looked a little bit small. San Antonio's had trouble defensively, especially interior-wise all season long. Not that the Nets are a great interior scoring team, but they just haven't been able to stop teams from scoring points. So I thought that looked small. And when you go to overall season numbers, the Nets on the road so far this season, their games average over 226 points per. That's overall season number. San Antonio at home, their home games average over 227 per. So, you talk about 219 with teams that average 226 in the situational aspects that I just mentioned. However, Brooklyn's come up strong defensively recently. Let me just run some numbers by you real quick here. Their last 6 opponents, defensively, New Orleans shot 34.3 against them. The 76ers only shot 43%. 38.8 by Toronto, 40.9 out of Charlotte, 40.4 out of Denver, 43.4 out of Charlotte. 6 games in a row where nobody's hit 44% of their field goals against the Brooklyn Nets. So something's going on there defensively. I don't know that I want the overall numbers over the more recent numbers. It looks like Coach Atkinson has something here with this defense. So for me, I'd probably just look at the first half here. Just those numbers are too strong to ignore.
All right, we got a lot of, I think we're all, where we going? First halves here, guys. A lot of first half plays here in this game. San Antonio and the Brooklyn Nets, and I believe that number is about 1.5 right now. Brooklyn's actually getting a point and a half, as I'm seeing here in the first half. So take a look here, guys. By the time of taping, that's what we're looking at, and we are getting ready for 2 monster games here tonight. The marquee matchups of the night, guys, going to face East Coast, West Coast. Up first, the Lakers taking on the Greek Freak in Milwaukee here. A lot of questions surrounding what is the unibrow doing here. What is Anthony Davis doing? Is he playing? Is he not playing? He has an ankle. He sat out the last game against Indiana. We saw how that worked out for the Lakers. They weren't able to get past. This line opened up at 4.5. I'm seeing a lot of 4s across the board. The total 225, 226. So, Ski, a lot of sneaky money here. I mean, it's 4 points. The Greek Freak, how big Anthony Davis is I mean, if he plays, are you going LA? If he doesn't, you're going Milwaukee? Is it that simple?
If he plays, I definitely think the Lakers win. Looking at, I think the Lakers are a better team in general, but even looking at last 5 game stats, defense has been better. They've been the better rebounding team. The offense has been better on the Milwaukee side. But Lakers coming off of the loss, I think they were it was a look ahead, like I say, for this game here. They're 3-0 as a road dog, catching points. I think Anthony Davis is going to play. I think the reason he didn't play last game is just because they're playing Milwaukee now. So I think if you can get the 4 points, the values with the Lakers, because by game time, once he's announced in, is going to be lower. So I would grab the Lakers just plus the points, and I kind of think it'll be more of a faster paced game, even if Anthony Davis is in or out. Milwaukee likes to play fast, and I think the Lakers will be kind of forced to play up to their pace. And if Anthony Davis is out, it's less defense inside. If he's in, he scores well also. So I like Lakers. I like over.
Is the Tony Finn, is the bench of Milwaukee going to prove to be the difference maker in this? Whether AD play, if it does play, let's assume, is it too much depth on Milwaukee for this Lakers squad?
Well, first, when I stepped in front of Milwaukee, was a win 2 days ago. Would have been, I guess, Tuesday when Dallas was there getting 11, and for the most part, can we? After last night, and again, we don't want to put too much in one game, but can we say that Milwaukee are they the elite of the East? Is this Milwaukee's conference to lose? The way Philly played, the way they were kind of exposed a little bit perimeter shooting. I don't think they were, but I think all of us knew that they were going to struggle from the perimeter. They're never going to be an elite shooting team. Right. But that said, with Toronto's losses in the offseason, Milwaukee and Boston's lack of size inside, it is Milwaukee, right? So look at the line in this game, and I even mentioned I thought this was a look ahead. I thought that game against Dallas was a look ahead game for Milwaukee as well as was for LA. And this is a pick'em game. I really don't. This is one of those games I'm not making a decision, but if I had to, I'm always going to take the points with the better conference and the more experience, and the bench and the balance of LA matches up with that of Milwaukee, in my opinion. So I'll take the points here.
All right, Rob, it sounds like Tony's saying Milwaukee shouldn't show up tonight. The game's already in the win column for the Lakers. At least that's what I heard. You tell me, Rob, where are we going here with this game?
Yeah, I think I'm going to play over. I like the points in this game to come pretty fast. I think the pace will be quick. I'm with Ski on the fact that it's a TNT game, national television, huge non-conference game. If there's any way Anthony Davis can play, he's going to play in this game. We'll see. I mean, if he doesn't play, the injury's a lot more severe than we've been led to believe, because I don't think there's any way he doesn't play in this contest if he's able to do so. I think the Eric Bledsoe injury really hurts Milwaukee. They come off the bench with 4 guards, but none are really Eric Bledsoe. George Hill, a very nice veteran point. Milwaukee's lucky to have so much depth, and it's part of the reason why I like the over. But as Tony said, it does even up the benches here without having Bledsoe. I think that LA does have as deep of a bench at this point, or nearly as deep of a bench as Milwaukee does in this contest. For me, it would be great if it turned out to be the LeBron versus Giannis show. Anthony Davis didn't play and just saw those two guys go back and forth. But I'll say this. Against Dallas the other night, Giannis scored 48 points. He tried to single-handedly win that game the last 5 minutes of that contest. The remainder of the team shot horribly, which is not a trait of the Milwaukee Bucks. They shot 33% from the field. The rest of that team, his 48, couldn't get it done. Tonight, I think the rest of the cast will join in, as will LA's. I like over. I think this number is just a little bit small, guys. 225, 225 and a half, whatever. Before we came on the show that I saw, I think it'll get over the total.
All right, so we got a couple of overs here on the card tonight. Don't forget, sportsmemo.com is where you can see Mr. Rob Veno here at Rob Veno Sports on Twitter, hanging out at Sports Memo. And then, of course, you can get the ski. You get Ski Profit as well as Tony Finn at WagerTalk.com. Packages and plays, guys, are available there tonight. Get there now if you are new to the show. It's, say a couple of Hail Marys here. And we hope we don't offend you. We apologize for Tony Finn in advance. But say what you want. He's like Rain Man. He talks to himself in a corner a lot. People point. They laugh. There's a little bust. There's a whole lot of things involved. But the man can actually pick winners, which is why we love him here. So I'm going to start with him with tonight's final West Coast matchup. Clippers, talk about depth. Holy crap. Clippers taking on, only the Clippers could have, a second stringer that can just come out 28 points whenever you need them to be. No depth on Houston. Tony, you and I have been on this for a month now. Houston has no depth, guys. So if they're not doing it on the front line, they ain't doing it. And let's face it, look at the last couple of weeks. I know Ski's a big last 5. Look at the last 5. They can't afford to go down 15-20 here and think they're going to make a miraculous comeback here tonight. It's not going to happen, Tony.
It's not going to happen. And I'll just go ahead and step out. I'll step on a limb that's pretty fragile because I'm sure you'll get a lot of comments and disagreements with me on this. But if Harden doesn't score 50, they can't win and they can't cover. And he's averaged 42, and they've been pretty close in the first 2 meetings between these two. In truth, I think Houston covered both numbers, if I'm not mistaken. Mr. V and I spoke about this before the show. I like the Clippers, the depth. You saw Lou Williams come back in his first game. Didn't do much in the first half. Kind of got his rhythm back, got his feet under him. Then he score 20 in the second half. And it's tough. Listen, it's tough in this day and age of the NBA to cover a number of 15 in a game, 12.5, 15. I think the Clippers closed at 15 in the last game against Phoenix when we talked about this. And I liked them then, and they're the team with the depth that when they do get a 15 or 20-point lead, their second rotation is capable of holding that lead. Mm-hmm. I like the Clippers.
Yeah, I think, and they probably won't admit it, but Eric Gordon, I think, is a major missing piece for this team here, and he is definitely somebody that they miss. It hasn't been good, but, listen, Ski, it's the number 1 offense versus the number 2 offense in the Western. I mean, both of these teams are capable of ridiculous amounts of points. So I don't know. Is the total the way to look at this game?
If I'm looking at the total, the way I'm going to look at it, when the Clippers play top talent, 60% win teams or greater, the under is 4-0 on their last 4. I always talk about the Clippers want to show up for competition. They're a defensive team. They can put the clamps on damn near anybody. The under is 10-5 at home. Under 9-4 on the road for Houston. It's went under 5 of their last 7 games. I think this would be more like a playoff style game. I don't really agree with the line move up on the total. I would think it would be more of an under type game. And if I'm looking at the side, Rockets, they're 3-1 as a road dog. They haven't been playing well lately. They're 1-5 against the spread their last 6. They do play well versus competition. 55% win teams are greater. They're 6-3. But like I said, with the under angle, I think the Clippers really show up for these type of teams. They're playing well. They're 5-1 against the number of their last 6. Kawhi, I don't remember if it's the last game or the game before, but he talked about something I mentioned when we talked about both of the LA teams, but he said they have to find some kind of continuity and start playing together and get some chemistry, and that's what we're starting to see happen. So I think it continues here. I like the Clippers, and I think they put the clamps, and I like the under.
All right. Talk to me, Rob, here. Where are you leaning here? You going total? You going side? What do you think?
Yeah, I can't disagree with either of the plays made by the two guys before me here. As Ski said, the numbers will point you in the direction of the under. There's no question about it. So the move to the over actually had me a little bit head scratching, but I can understand. They played a 122 to 119 game during this season already. That was 241. The other one was 102-93. That's 195. So extremes both ways. Here we're looking at 235. 235 and a half. Rockets road games average that, but Clippers home games certainly don't average that. Clippers home games average around 217, which is well below that. I think I was on the last time these two teams played, and again, I'm just interested in that matchup that is Patrick Beverley and Russell Westbrook. I mean, that's just great, the way those two can't stand each other, the way Patrick Beverley gets inside Westbrook's head. And if he gets inside his head tonight, guys, and Harden's left to hang out on his own, it's troublesome for that team. I think one guy not mentioned here yet who came back the other night, Landry Shamet for the LA Clippers. Certainly, the depth is ridiculous on that side of the court here tonight. They have far more depth than the Houston Rockets do. I wonder sometimes if Kawhi doesn't think in his head, will coach put me on Harden for like 10 or 12 minutes and let Kawhi. I know you don't want to put him on Harden for the entire game. You don't want to tire Kawhi out, although I don't think he ever gets tired. But certainly Kawhi could put the clamps on him if Doc Rivers chose to for stretches during this game. Back to what Ski said, defensively, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Patrick Beverley. Where else are you going to get this type of defensive talent? And Montrezl Harrell, I'll add to the list. Just an energizer type guy. So for me, I would lay 4.5 with the Clippers. Definitely sort of miffed at why people would be playing the Rockets at that 5.5 price all the way down to 4.5. But now that it's low enough, I'll certainly take advantage. I'll try I'll try Clippers minus 4.5.
All right, there you go. Pretty unanimous here across the board, guys, which means it's time for our dogs. Time to look at the dogs. There's not many on the card here. There's just 4 here, and I know everyone's looking at Atlanta, so we'll put Atlanta to the side right now, and let's try to figure it out, Ski. I think I know where you're going here, brother.
I'm going last
all
today.
Right, I'll go Finn, because I know where Finn's going. Now, unfortunately, Tony, let me explain to you. Utah's not an underdog. All right, and I know how much everything is Utah, but you can't go Utah. So give me an underdog play here on the card tonight if you had to. Twisted your arm.
Well, I don't have to, but I'm going to.
Oh.
No, Well, it's. I've already spoke to it. It's the Lakers. The Lakers are the dog play here tonight against Milwaukee. This is a game that you're going to get your best out of the Lakers if everything is kosher in the paint for LA. It is the Lakers, and they not only are they a dog play, they win handily. Yeah. That's some bullshit.
That was sweet, man. How about it, Rob? Talk to me. Give me your dog play, man. You going Lakers too?
Yeah, boy, I hate to make this thing so unanimous, Joe, because we know where Ski's going to just slam the door on this play once I get done talking, so I won't talk too long. But, hey, if Anthony Davis is present, I don't see the Lakers +4 not at least getting the cover, not a win in resounding fashion, as Kansas City friend just said, but I do think, you have to consider them as the best underdog look on this card tonight, a small 4-game card, +4 points. Anthony Davis goes, I'm there. If he doesn't go, it's a different story, but I'm assuming that he's going to go, so give me Lakers +4 as the dog.
Ski, where are you going, brother, man?
I didn't want to be the first one to say it, so I'm glad everybody agrees with me. You guys know I'm rolling with my guys right here on my shirt, the Lakers. 3-0 as a road dog.
That's a shock.
You're not going to get a better number on the Lakers for I don't know how long. +4. Grab it. I'll give you one more since we all agree.
Okay, go ahead. Go.
Take the Brooklyn Nets.
Thank you very much. I was waiting for it. I was hoping you'd be different. All right, I get it. Between him and Utah and you and the Lakers, I want to throw up here. Thank God for Rob Veno. All right, let me explain to you. Shits and giggles time here, guys. Very simple, okay? First of all, I think you guys are absolutely nuts. I'm taking the Bucks on the money line, laying 170. I'm taking the Nets in the first half at plus 120. I'm putting you put it down, guys. It's 2.5 to 1. Book it. Nets first half, take the 1.5, and take the Bucks on the money line minus 170. Double your money here tonight with a little shits and giggles parlay. I didn't hear you, Finn. What'd you say? What was that?
I don't see that you're stepping out very far on that. I wouldn't argue with that. So it's not very much. It's the shit. It's the giggles are out. It's just the shit parlay.
It's shit though. It's absolutely shit. I love that. Very nice over there. Bottom line,
hey, Joe.
Guys, opportunities here tonight. Go, brother. Go.
Be ready for the Lakers posters tomorrow after the game.
Drive-bys. L.A. drive-bys.
Between him and his Utah jersey and you and your Laker posters, that's it, man. I don't know what's going on here.
I'm wearing my Utah jersey
I know
tomorrow.
you are. I know. You're going to bust out the old Malone/Stockton jersey. I know what you're doing out over there, man. Ski. Tony, get him at WagerTalk.com, SportsMemo.com. Rob Veno. Plays are up, guys. They're ready to rock and roll here tonight. Kind of push you in the right direction, but plenty of opportunities. Small card. Love these small cards. Great opportunities to be able to pounce on them. And also, I think we'd agree, Tony, right? You may want to take a look at a little live betting here tonight as well, no?
Always. I'm an addict to live betting. And for all those coming out here to the desert for the New Year's celebration and to watch some hockey and see some good basketball, bring your parka. It's ridiculously cold here. It's like 50 degrees and snowing.
Oh God,
it's crazy.
I would leave the house then if that's it. Ski, good luck here tonight, brother. Don't be too upset tomorrow when the money line cashes here for the Bucks as the Greek Freak runs all over the place. And Rob.
Don't show that picture, Joe. Don't show that picture.
I won't do it to you, man. I won't do it to you, man. Screw the prez. Guys, best of luck to you. Make sure you subscribe to the channel here. Hit the bell in the upper right-hand corner. Make sure you're following these guys. Come back and join us tomorrow. We'll break it down. We'll get you ready for the weekend in the NBA. Gentlemen, appreciate the time. Good luck to you guys. We'll talk again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Later, guys.